Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could have your attention, please. First of all, I'd like to say give yourselves a nice round of applause for attending tonight's festivities. And welcome to the ACE 2015 final presentation, Night and Scholarship Dinner. My name is Rob Tulucky. I am a project manager in the Construction Services Department at University Hospitals, and I will be your MC and host for the evening. And I'd like to say when I was invited up here to do this event, I was honored. And I also felt this is great. This is a nice way to break up from the daily office things that I normally do, like scope reviews, RFPs, change orders, and so on and so forth. So I started attending the planning meetings, and then I found myself in a series of scope reviews, RFIs, change orders, and submittals. And then tonight, the final night where we do process all of our payment applications. So I'd like to introduce to you the chairman of the board and the vice president, executive vice president of the Gilbane Building Company. Please welcome Mr. Tom Laird.
Evening, everybody. This will be more fun than a Cleveland victory in the playoff game tonight, I promise you. So thank you all for coming this evening. Rob, thank you for agreeing to be our MC. Hopefully we'll be able to keep a nice pace here this evening, but we've got a lot of ground to cover. I am honored to be the board chair of the ACE mentoring program here of Cleveland. But I'd like to recognize and ask my fellow board members to stand and be recognized, if they would. And I do want to give a special shout out to Glenn Shoemate. Glenn recently joined the board and is now our board administrator. He's been a huge help to the organization. As you can see, the organization continues to grow. And Glenn's organizational leadership skills have been really a big plus. Thank you, Tim, for making Glenn available. I want to touch upon where the organization has come here very quickly, but I do want to give a special recognition to University Hospitals and specifically Steve Stanley. I think some of you know that really the wind in the sails of this program came when University Hospitals, and specifically Steve, recognized what this program can be and what it's become. He entrusted us with significant scholarship support and has since renewed. And without their generosity and his confidence in our organization, we wouldn't be 450 strong here tonight. So please, a special recognition for Steve and University Hospitals, if you would. One other special guest is here. My boss, Mike McKelvey, the president of Gilbane Building Company, is here. If you could stand, Mike. So I appreciate you coming all this way, Mike, and if there's any specific concerns about my leadership skills, I ask that you wait until Thursday or Friday to bring those up. So just a little bit about where we've come and where we think we're going. ACE is in 66 cities nationally. There's 66 affiliates. And ACE has awarded over $14 million in scholarship support over its existence. ACE Cleveland started in 2008, and this first dinner didn't look anything like this. It was held in the Cleveland Museum of Art. We had 15 students, and we were proud to give away $10,000 in scholarships that night. Flash forward to today, Eric, we are now at 120 students. We have 50 mentor firms, 55 I think to be exact, involved, and 95 volunteer firms that are helping our organization in some way, shape, or form. So I say it every year, I'll say it again tonight. It takes a village, and the village is here. So thank you to everybody for all that you do. So we'll hit a new benchmark tonight. We have, from 2008 through 2014, awarded $300,000 in scholarships. Tonight, ACE Cleveland will award $100,000 in scholarships. So I want to give a warm welcome to all the ACE alums that are in the crowd, and specifically Kendall, if you'd like to come up here and join me. I want to thank you so much for being here, and Kendall's going to share a few words.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kendall King. I went to John Hay Architecture and Design, and I graduated in 2012. In that same year, I graduated from the ACE mentorship program, and it's about 3 years ago, so it seems like a long time to me. Back to what he was saying, you know, this whole back was just our work. There was no tables back there, so it has come a long way. So they asked me to, you know, talk about myself. You know, I went to Morehouse College. I graduated, well, I technically haven't walked the stage yet, but I finished my coursework in December, and I'll be graduating next month, walking the stage. I am now currently at CSU doing my master's in accounting. And full disclosure, yeah, again, I'm an accountant. I'm not an architect, an engineer, or a construction worker at all. And I learned that from ACE, actually. And yeah, because I went to architecture and design thinking that I wanted to be an engineer or architect. And as I slowly went through that process, I figured out that that was not the way to go. But I got in the ACE program, and I stuck it out, and it showed me a lot about myself. It showed me, first and foremost, that architecture and design that type of stuff was not for me. But it opened me up to all the other possibilities that, you know, I can do. I could be, you know, a leader. I can be a team player. In ACE, I know everyone out there who's in the ACE program right now knows that you have to work together. You know, you won't get the project done if, you know, the presenter people ain't got the PowerPoint together, or the construction people don't have the cost right. And so this program really, you know, moved me in the right way to help, you know, refine some of my skills. So I only have a little bit of time up here, so I just want to say one more thing before I go, is that everyone out in the crowd who is going off and, you know, going to college, even the 11th graders who are going to, you know, be in ACE next year, I advise you all to stay in ACE, because as you see, $99,000 is getting passed out today. Nah, that's good. That's good. I got a $2,500 scholarship from ACE, which helped me tremendously. So stay in ACE, and, you know, word of advice is just to, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You're here for a reason, and you have your plans made, even though it might not be all 100% correct, as I thought I was back at your time. But, you know, you can still do what you have to do, and, you know, walk your own path. There's a lot of people who was in my corner when I was doing what I was doing. There's a lot of people who was not in my corner, who, you know, discouraged me. But the only person that mattered in all of that was me, okay? So I made the decision to do what I wanted to do, and I made the decision to keep doing it. And so that's why I'm here today. Thank you.
Keep it going for Mr. Kendall King. So I believe at this time we're going to go ahead and break for dinner, and then afterwards we'll continue on with the program. So enjoy yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could just interrupt you while you're enjoying your dinner. We have a long evening ahead of us. We have a lot of things that we have to get accomplished, so please continue to eat. But in the meantime, at this time, I'd like to introduce to you an ACE board member and the administrator, Mr. Glenn Shoemate from the Construction Employers Association.
Well,
Good evening, and certainly glad to be here with a very full room of ACE supporters tonight. I have the opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker, Margaret Bernstein, who is the Director of Advocacy and Community Initiatives for WKYC TV3. She has a guest with her tonight, Melissa Coleman. So I said, Melissa, what should I say about her? And she said, she's wonderful. She's a trailblazer, so we're going to use that. And Margaret really is. I mean, she wears a lot of hats. She's involved in numerous community organizations and a plethora of journalism activities. She is author of several books. Most recently, I saw her on the stage at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with an accomplishment or an opportunity to, she shared with several individuals in regards to one of her latest books she wrote. Mentoring for her is a passion. It's something that she's been involved with, so much so that she actually was awarded the National Big Sister of the Year in 2000 by Big Brothers and Big Sisters. She's also active in several journalism organizations. I think she and I met in '95 when we were working on a project which was the Cleveland Black History Project that we kind of collaborated on when she was at the Plain Dealer. Her husband is the chief prosecutor in the city of Shaker Heights, and somebody told me that they met him, unfortunately, recently, on the other side of the law. They have 2 children, Randy and Alexandria, and I think you've made great use of your journalism degree from the University of Southern California with all of the awards for journalism and your activities. So it's a pleasure to welcome Margaret Bernstein, a wonderful trailblazer who's multi-talented. Margaret.
All right, good evening, everybody. All right, I was told when I was invited to do this that I would be in a room filled with achieving students, committed parents, and mentors. My favorite human beings on the planet are mentors. I just want to start by let's clap for the mentors. Thank you for what you do. And we're also in a room full of sponsors, organizations and companies that really understand that this is the most important work that we do. I mean, we go to work every day, we sit at a desk, but when you come out of that office and you interact with tomorrow's young people, that's the most important work. And so University Hospitals, I just heard about your commitment to sponsoring scholarships. So are you here? Could you please stand and be recognized? So I was asked to do this speech by none other than Cleveland Metropolitan Schools CEO Eric Gordon. And so, of course, I said yes, just based on that honor. But Eric Gordon, I don't think has ever heard me give a speech before. So I'm going to watch the worried look on his face when I say that the topic of my speech is going to be, I hear voices. I do, I really do. I hear voices and I obey those voices, and I know it makes me sound crazy, but those voices are my conscience. And those voices pretty much dictate everything that I do. So I have a message first for the young people in the audience. And that message is that I want you to learn to tune into that voice that tells you right from wrong, and it directs you on what to do. And most importantly, that voice tells you to do your best when you really think it could be easier to just not do your best and just turn in something sloppy. So I got a real life story for that about my life, and I want to share it very quickly. Who's heard of the 3 doctors who wrote the book, The Pact? Has anybody heard of the book, The Pact? Okay, I see some hands. All right, well, I was a writer at the Plain Dealer, a feature writer, And I had heard about the three doctors who wrote the pact. There were three doctors out of Newark, New Jersey, and they had written this New York Times bestseller that was all about how they had met each other as three young boys growing up in poverty in Newark, and that they had made a promise to stick together, graduate from high school, college, and go to medical school. I had heard their book was so inspiring that when they came to Cleveland, I just made it my business to be there to hear them talk. So, went to Case Western Reserve University to hear them speak, and the thing that amazed me, their speech was good, but what was even more interesting was that there was a busload of students from Cleveland Public Schools, mainly boys, who were sitting in the front row, listening to them, and when the speech was over, they gathered to come hear the three doctors speak. And when the three doctors tried to leave the room because their speech was over, those three boys trailed behind them and were still asking questions. And in my mind, I thought, they're treating these three doctors like they're rap stars. I'm so impressed by that. So I went back to the newsroom to write the story, but I heard that voice. And that voice told me, go find out if those boys from the Cleveland schools made a pact similar to what was written about in the book. Go find out if they made a promise to stay together. So I found out that they were from Martin Luther King High School, so I called over there. Come to find out, that is exactly what happened. Those boys that were there from Martin Luther King were part of a program that, this is really going to tell you how long ago this was. They were part of a program called the Barbara Byrd Bennett Scholars. And they had indeed made a promise to stick together, to graduate from King High School, to go to college and become professionals and always be friends. So I went back to my editor and telling him that, I said, I think this is going to be a way better story than just me turning it out for tomorrow. Can I have a little bit more time with it? So he said, absolutely. And he let me go spend some time at King and meet those boys and put their stories in the paper. And their story was so touching to me because they treated that book by the three doctors like it was their Bible. And it was just a side of our young men today that I was so proud to put on the front page of the Plain Dealer. So, about a week later, I get a phone call, and it's a voicemail message at my desk, and it is Dr. Sampson Davis, one of the three doctors, who just left a message to say how touched he was by my article and that he would like to talk to me. So, I was really thrilled that he called, but I didn't call him back because I just didn't want to keep fishing for compliments. I mean, that was good enough that he had called, so I just, listened to the voicemail a couple of times and let it go. A week later, I got an email that I didn't open from William Morris Agency, which was their agent worked for that agency in New York City, but I didn't open it because journalists get a lot of mail and I don't open up all my emails. So that went by, whizzed right over my head too. So a week later, Dr. Sampson Davis called back again, and he was like, look, we're the three doctors. Call us back. We're important, and we want to talk to you. So at that point, I knew something earth-shattering was about to happen in my life, and so I did call him back, and he said, Margaret, we have a deal with our publisher where we get to have a second book, and we really don't know you, and we don't know if you write books, but we just, based on the quality of the article and what you made us feel, we want you to write our second book. And that's what happened. That is a true story, and this is the book. And I want the young people in the audience to reflect on what you guys know is really true, which is, what if I hadn't done my best on that article? What if I had not listened to that voice? That opportunity would not have come true. So I just want to say that when I listen to that voice, CEO Gordon, I get a payoff that is beyond anything that I could have ever dreamed of. And so I got one more story, and I want to tell it to you really fast, and this one is for the mentors. I am a big sister. I have been one since I moved to Cleveland. I signed up within a month of living in Cleveland in 1989. I had my first interview with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I stayed as a big sister to two young ladies, and so I just want to have you create a mental image of the year 2000. One of my little sisters was getting ready to graduate from high school. So just imagine this with me. You're in my basement, and it's a moment when I had just had her come over because it was time to finish her college application, and I did not trust her to write the essay without me. So I just paced around as she wrote it, kept staring in the monitor very impatiently, and I could tell she was stumped about what she was going to write. So I told her I thought she needed to use part of the essay to explain her poor grades in the first years of high school. I told her that really the bad grades are understandable considering that she skipped 8th grade, and I think because of that she had a tough time rebounding and getting the hang of 9th and 10th grades. And so she said to me offhand on that day, "Yeah, why did Grandma have me skipped? I never understood that." And I said, "Well, it was because you were always the oldest child in your class by 1 or 2 years, and she thought you were getting uncomfortable being older than everybody else in the class." Which prompted her to ask me, "Yeah, why was I always the oldest in my class? I never understood that." And I was so stunned by that question that I had to stop multitasking and trying to get her to write the essay and just talk to her about that question. I sat down next to her and I gently explained that when I met her, her mother had neglected to put her in kindergarten. She had sat that entire first year of school out because no one had bothered to realize that she needed to be in school. She was 6 years old. When they finally realized it, they decided to put her in first grade because she was 7. But without that kindergarten foundation, it was too hard for her and she failed the first grade. She had to repeat it. When I got matched with her, she was in the 2nd grade, but she was failing that grade too. I think because she lacked a strong foundation. And so as I told her, that is why you were always the oldest child in your class. You didn't know any of this? And it was obvious that she didn't. She was looking at me wide-eyed and in astonishment. She had always thought she was slow, but she never thought it could be the fault of anyone other than herself. And so she'd always assumed the problem was with her, and she blamed herself. But during those last few years of high school, she had realized that no one was going to solve her problems but her, and so my girl got it together. She brought her grades up, she took some summer school classes, and she even passed all the sections of the heinous, god-awful Ohio graduation test. That day, we were doing one of the last things that needed to be done, getting her college application in order. It looked like a mundane non-event to anybody who didn't really know us, as she was sitting in my cluttered basement typing those words into my computer. But really, it was a jubilant moment for her and me. And as I kept pacing the floor next to her and impatiently staring into the monitor to see those words taking shape, I realized something extraordinary had just happened. By then, her mother had died. Her grandmother had also died, the person who had raised her and signed her up for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Her father was in prison and hadn't really been in her life, and none of her adult relatives had cared enough to be a consistent presence for her. And that is when it hit me. I was astonished to realize that I was the only human on earth who could have told her that personal story, who could attest to everything that still vulnerable 19-year-old had been through, and let her know what a triumph her life really was. School records couldn't piece the backstory together. No one else knew this, but I knew. I had seen it happen. I had been a witness. And then that's when I got it. This whole mentoring thing, that's when I got it. How incredible is it that God could take a journalist from a comfortable middle-class background in Los Angeles and put her in Cleveland so that years later she could be there to fill in the blanks for a little girl who needed to know her history and needed to know that her life was a triumph and nothing to be ashamed of. That was so powerful to me. So I said it in 2000 at the Big Brothers Big Sisters convention, and I will say it again. What made us an award-winning trio was not what I did, but what these girls endured, because I was a big sister to 2. the way that they leaped over the obstacles in their lives to become high school graduates and strong, no-nonsense women. So that is why I'm here to remind you that we have to listen to those voices, because that conscience insider is telling us that we can't turn our back on this next generation. We don't get what we want if we just leave them to the streets, to chance. And every one of you sitting at these tables, wrapping your arms around these young people, that's so powerful to me. What you're doing is so important. So back to the voices. We don't know what we're going to accomplish yet, but I can tell you that the young people in this room are going to accomplish something mighty and powerful. We're going to be so proud of them. And I just thank every one of you who contributed to their success. Thank you.
Wow. All I can say about that. Wow. Margaret hears voices in her head. Well, let's recap so far. We heard Mr. Kendall King come up on stage, and he talked about how he started out pursuing a career in construction, but he listened to his intuition, he listened to his inner voice, which led him down another path. And then we had Margaret come up on stage and talk about how she was assigned a project, and by listening to her intuition and listening to her inner voice, she decided to take that project at a new angle. And because she did that, she ended up writing a whole book based on these doctors who created a pact, and she identified with 3 young children who decided to make a pact to make their lives successful. And then we heard Margaret also talk about how she had the privilege of being a big sister to somebody who just really didn't have anybody to help her. And because one person took the time to make changes in another person's life, and how rewarding that is for Margaret to see this happen, that she could become a part of that, but also how rewarding it is for the young girl who got to work under Margaret's mentorship, and how she is becoming a very successful person. So that's what this evening is all about. So I'd like to say, wow. And again, you know, everyone involved, please give yourselves a nice round of applause for coming out to support this event. And so now we're going to get on to the program. So as you know, several schools were asked to answer an RFP to be part of this night's evening. And the RFP had to deal with water conservation. The students had to meet in October. They've been meeting since October. They met 2 hours after school, 15 times throughout the school year. Each team is made up of mentor teams. There's that word again. The mentors talk to the students about each of the disciplines that make up ACE, engage the students in hand-on activities, and arrange field trips. Some of the field trips included the Watershed Stewardship Center, Progressive Field, and the New Cleveland School of the Arts. At the end of the 15 sessions, the students are able to put together everything they learned and present it to all of us here tonight, so we're in for a treat. The RFP, which talks about water conservation and allows them to address different angles of water conservation. Some of them had to deal with water pollution, water management issues. Another approach may be writing a policy about water conservation or water management. They had to answer the following questions. Which water issue have you chosen to address? Who does it affect? What is the solution? Explain the materials used and the estimated cost of the project. Describe the benefit and impact the project will provide. And if you're interested, inside of your program is a copy of that RFP. Now, as these students come up and present, here's a copy of the RFP right here, in case you're looking for it. As these students come up and present their projects to us, we're going to have a reactor panel. And we have assembled a panel of 3 people who are going to make comments and suggestions about each of the projects. So I'd like to introduce to you our reactor panel, if I may. We have this evening, all the way from the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. She is a licensed professional civil engineer in Ohio and Michigan. And she's board certified environmental engineer as recognized by the American Academy of Environmental Engineers. She is also the chief operating officer of the Northeast Ohio Sewer District, Kelly Bratuno. Kelly, you want to come up and come on up? Wave. This is Kelly. There you are.
Is this good?
That's perfect.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Our next member of the reaction panel is the director of the Green City Blue Lakes Institute, the Sustainability Center of the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. The Institute promotes the design in ecological cities that are good for people and nature. Its staff has expertise in the fields of green building, city and regional planning, transportation, watershed planning, energy, carbon footprint analysis, and planning to mitigate climate change. I'd like to give a nice round of applause for Mr. David Beach from Green City Blue Lake. David. And next from the Cleveland Engineering Society. She serves as the Associate Executive Director. She facilitates activities for the Build Up Greater Cleveland, otherwise known as BUGC, partners, aligning its education initiatives with those of new faces of engineering. Roadshow and manages administrative and operational functions. Please welcome Tawana Lewis from the Cleveland Engineering Society. This is getting exciting. And now I'm going to go through the student teams, and we're just going to go ahead and introduce all of the student teams. So we have the John Hay Juniors. Round of applause for them. Now, a little bit about the John Hay Juniors. They address this RFP issues of water management, water pollution, and water conservation by developing a community park utilizing previous concrete pavement and underground water management system. The site they chose is a vacant lot located at East 30th Street and Community College Avenue. This previous pavement park will incorporate a gazebo, LED site lighting, park benches, various landscape features, and a unique mural on the pavement surface. The intent of this project is to reduce runoff volume of the storm sewer system, in turn reducing the sanitary overflow into our lakes, effectively conserving our water resource as a whole. Ultimately, this park will provide an opportunity for the new community to engage with one another and band through preservation of the resource that unites us all, water. Please welcome Robert Moore, Alex Morales, Avishkar, help me with the name, Etwaru, say it one more time, sir. Etwaru, Jordan Davis, Raymond Robinson, the presenters from the John Hay Jr. class. Come on up. So go ahead, take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jordan Takumi Davis.
My name is Robert Kennan Moore.
I am Alexander Morales.
I am Raymond Robinson.
And my name is Avishkar. We are Apex. Our mission as Apex. Our mission as Apex is with ambition and persistence for excellence. We stand by our promise to help conserve water and unity our community as a whole via sustainable methods. Essentially, we are creating a park with a permeable pavement mural in which we will allow water to be collected underground. Permeable pavement is a special type of pavement that has void spaces or small gaps in between for which the water can flow. We are doing this to reduce runoff quality, improve stormwater quantity, increase water efficiency, bring awareness to water conservation, as well as to promote social unity. Altogether, we want to create a park for which the community can come together to experience the fun amenities it has to offer, as well as to bring awareness to water conservation. Changing the world begins with one factor. Apex is that factor. Thank you.
And in the property in which we proposed the project will be posted upon, oftentimes the water was not properly disposed of. Rather, it was soaked and supersaturated the land in which it fell upon, especially on rainy days and days of heavy precipitation. And of course, as mentioned before, the property will be on the intersection of Community College Avenue and East 30th Street, across the street from Cuyahoga Community College's Metropolitan Campus, and will cover an area of approximately 20,000 square feet with dimensions of 100 feet and 200 feet. And here we have a simulation of the project via Google SketchUp. The purple areas are the permeable substance, the brown areas are the mulch and/or soil in which the trees will grow from, and of course, those apply here as well, from the side view of the actual property. And here we have an aerial view showing a position, or showing the positions of the benches, trash bins, and lights, as well as the main feature, you could call it, the mural in the center, which also serves as a fountain. And some proposed materials include native sugar maples, numbering at about 7 or so, and about 25 shagbark hickories. These are chosen because, of course, they are native species to the region. The actual mural wall, as well as the benches around them, will be made out of either granite or cast stone. These materials would be fitting for the actual stone, because they hardly erode over time and have been used in previous monuments, such as the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. The benches as well as trash bins are proposed to be made out of aluminum, for it is inexpensive, lightweight, mobile, and again, does not erode very easily over time. The lamps will be made out of steel and transparent plastic, because those are traditional materials for for things like that. The brown area, of course, is mulch and/or soil. And finally, the purple area, which covers most of the property, is of course the permeable substance, which will allow rainwater and precipitation to flow through.
For our mural, we decided to display the Greek goddess Gaia. In Greek mythology, Gaia is the goddess of the earth. She is a personification of our planet. We chose Gaia to provide people going to our park to help show that not only is it about community, but also about reusing and preserving Earth's most valuable resource, water. So when creating permeable pavement, there are a lot of things you have to consider. We found that ratio is extremely important. You have to have the right amount of cement, you have to have the right amount of aggregate, and you have to have the right amount of water. Now, aggregate is granular materials like slag, crushed stone, and gravel. So to create permeable pavement, you create your cement mix, you lay down your aggregate, and you coat the aggregate with the cement to create proper void space. In our mix design, we have a 25% water to cement ratio. And that will give us about 147,000 pounds of cement, 637,000 pounds of aggregate, and about 40,000 gallons of water. We're gonna have altogether a service area of 12,950 square feet. We also have a 1% slope to help water reach our 6-inch polyethylene pipe. We chose polyethylene because it's a durable, cost-effective material for piping. We're also gonna have a water basket underneath our permeable pavement and also a soil separator to keep the layers separate, and the water basket will collect the water.
So here we have a 3D rendering of the elevation. You can see from this view the 6-inch pavement thickness as well as the stone. And as we get closer to the side, you can see the slope, which is 1% from the side of the mechanism, which allows for water that seeps through to get to the water basket, which we'll see here at the bottom. And essentially what the mechanism is supposed to do is when the water goes down through the permeable substance, it goes through the void space or the open gaps in the stone to this gutter-like water basket, which leads to the polyethylene pipe off to a water basin where we can basically use it for recreational uses or anything that is essential around the area for the water uses.
Now that you've seen the 3D overview of our model, I'm going to go over the cost estimate for our company's project. Now, the average for the internal structure will come up around $70,000. For commonly known park items such as benches, the average will come to about $32,000. For the inclusion of plants and other plant life, we will get around $8,000. That'll take our average to around $113,000. Now, we believe this project can be done in less than 30 days. For the first 15 days, all focus will be implemented on the underground structure and how the mechanics function. For the remainder of the time, focus will be implemented on finalizing the layout and making it more interactive friendly.
In conclusion, we not only want to just achieve the purpose of the RFP of preserving and managing water, but we also want to unite the community as a whole. Uniting the community is something that can be done while preserving water. We believe that both are two prevalent problems that need to be solved around the world. So basically, as Apex, we not only want to preserve and manage water, but act as a benefactor to the community around us. Thank you.
And so now we're going to turn to our reactor panel for any comments that they may have.
First off, I just wanted to say hats off to anything that takes stormwater off the grid. It's a good thing in Cleveland. Terrific presentation. I wondered if you had, anyone had calculated how many gallons of stormwater you think you'll capture in your water basket.
So as for the volume of stormwater that we can catch in the water basket, we have approximately about 200 feet for just the water basket specifically, but amongst that, in the space basically for the stone, we can hold approximately 53% of the volume that was permitted for the stone alone. So that's about 4,000 square feet, I believe, in the mechanism alone, and then the water basket as well.
Thank you.
I just want to congratulate you on the thoroughness of the answer to the RFP and not only having the budget, but the schedule and the drawings that you did. It's a really well fleshed out concept. I just had a question about the basket, and if you describe that a little more, what you're thinking there.
So as we said before, the water basket, we're going to have it under the 6 inches of permeable pavement. We're having the water basket connected to the polyethylene pipe to help collect the water, and I believe that was like 24 square feet.
And once again, this is the John Hay Jr. Gentlemen, thank you very much. All right, now I'd like to invite Shawnita Adams, Joseph Bowman, Emmanuel West, Myron Rivers, Jason Foster, and Taylor Stewart to the stage. These students represent the New Tech East team, and we're going to see their presentation on water management and runoff. Come on down. Did I get everybody's name? Did I get everybody's name?
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys today? That's good, that's good. Today we just wanted to talk about what was our plan to create and to help with water pollution. So on the basketball court, we have Javon Mason. On the bioswale, we have Emmanuel West. And on the gardens, Myron Rivers. And budget, Emmanuel West, because we need to know how much this is gonna cost, definitely. Okay, that's it.
Our basketball court, the donation is 94 feet by 50 feet. And we are starting this basketball court because we're trying to get the young kids out the streets and the kids in the community something to do.
We would like to use pervious pavement on the court to keep like some of the water flow out of the runoff and stuff like that. So for the court, we want to use pervious pavement on everything. We have benches on the side and everything, all that.
It'll be multiple colors. We have one full court and two half courts. And we also adding fences around the court so it can be enclosed court, so nothing would get inside the court. And we add trees around the sides for shade. Next slide. Our court will have no light, so therefore it will close around certain times, and this will keep dangerous things from happening during the nighttime. The court will be open to the community and into our school people too. And it will be benches so people can sit down and watch us play basketball, and they can also watch the many other things we have installed in our parking lot. And as you see here, that's where our court will be at, placed in the parking lot.
This is our garden, which is another piece. And the overall for this project was to make something beautiful for the community to look at, to have flowers like dandelions, sunflowers like that. Okay, you see at other communities when you have basketball courts, it's usually not no flower garden. It's just grass everywhere, and that's it. But at our flower garden, as you can see right there as an example, we would have a little pathway that you can walk through, and also in our flower garden. In our flower garden, we would have a certain part of the garden to use where people can show you how to grow plants. And also in our garden, we would use no more grass. And what that is grass that doesn't grow no more than 3 to 4 inches. So it reduces and saves you money and reduces high maintenance. So you'll have to keep cutting it over and over and over. So over a period of time, it lasts longer.
Next will be the bioswale. The bioswale will be located in between the basketball court and the garden. Our purpose of the bioswale is to beautify our school, but mainly to prevent water pollution because of the fact that all the water is running into the sewer, which is overtaxing our sewer company.
So for our building plan, we estimate that it will take us about 3 months. The first thing we will begin to do is tearing out parts of the asphalt from the parking lot that we will no longer be able to use. What we will do is recycle what we can use and get rid of and dispose of the rest. We will start to dig out our bioswale and lay the clay basin down and provide our piping and things for the overflow of water. We will excuse me. All right. So, for our bioswale, we will use pipes that when it overflows, there will be pipes under the bioswale that will be able to run the water straight and directly into the sewer. So there will be no overflow, there won't be no floods or no little puddles or anything. That's it.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to tell you all about the budgeting. For the previous payment, we would need 10,000 square feet, and our estimate cost would be $250,000. And we would want 100 trees around our basketball court, our garden, and our bioswale. And each tree costs $500. So by us having 100 trees, our approximate cost would be $5,000. And we want shrubs for around our bioswale, and we want 100 shrubs, and it's $50 per shrub, and it becomes $5,000 too. For our bioswale, we don't have a major cost right now, but we might, whatever we dig up, we might take it. We will put it for biddings for any companies. Is there any offers right now? Well, that's all we have right now for our budgeting. Thank you.
All right. So in conclusion to our presentation, we ultimately want to create something beautiful in a community full of eyesores and making our community environmentally aware, while in addition actually reducing the harmful effects of water pollution in our local community. Thank you.
Reactor panel, what did you think of the presentation?
I think you guys did a great job in addressing not only the environmental needs, but needs of the community, incorporating that into your project.
I like the way you thought through the landscaping, and with features like the no-mow grass and planting lots of trees. Shading our city is really important, because the more we can cool our city, the less energy we have to use to cool it, and that helps a lot with climate change.
I'd like to recognize the young ladies representing the A's up here on the stage. Good to see some girl power. We need more ladies who want to take on engineering and construction as a career, but that aside, the presentation was again, really great that you're getting the stormwater off the grid. Anything that stays out of the sewer system is something that enables us to collect more waste in the sewer system. Wondered if you had thought about, you integrated the community needs, the recreational needs, the aesthetic, visual needs of the garden, and you wrapped it all around water, which is terrific, and you came up with a cost to build it. Wondered if you thought about, after it's built, what you need to do to it to keep it going in the future for future generations. Any thoughts on that?
Well, for our garden, we plan on having people have their own sections in our garden, and we plan on teaching people how to actually guard the plants, and that's the main thing that we'll need to keep up the consistent work in it. So that's pretty much it that will need the most maintenance. You already heard about the no-mow grass, so that will need a lot of maintenance. And the water, it eats away itself. So it helps to get the dirt clean. And when it goes into the pipe system, the water, when it comes out, it will be clean. So that's the most that we have to worry about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to New Techniques team. And again, if they can't work that program, we have the gentleman over here who's not shy about asking people for money. So.
Nice job. Nice job.
Okay, next we're going to bring up Max Hayes. So I'd like to welcome Ariana Shank, Ashley Spraggins, Sheree Morrison. And their project is titled A Day at the Beach. And they're also going to speak about CSO reduction program in the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Spraggins. I am a 12th grader at Max S. Hayes High School. I am currently enrolled into Building and Property Maintenance.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sheree Morrison, and I am a senior at Max Hayes High School, and I am currently enrolled in Welding Technology.
Hello, my name is Ariana Shank. I am also a senior at Max Hayes High School, and I am enrolled in Computer-Aided Design and Drafting.
Max Hayes team or presentation deals with a new policy for water management. We will start with a short video, and then Ariana, Sheree, and I will talk about combined sewer overflows and their impact on Lake Erie. Our video happens over the course of 2 days.
Our policy statement is the Environmental Protection Agency needs to take a closer look at the algal blooms and provide the same guidelines provided for the combined sewer overflow systems.
When it rains, stormwater is collected in curb drains, which drains into storm sewers. What comes from our homes is water from showers, toilets, sinks, drains, to sanitary sewers. In newer constructed areas, these pipes are separated, but in older cities like Cleveland, with pipes over 100 years old, the storm and sanitary water are combined in one line.
Oh, it really rained last night. I do want to go to the beach. It is really sunny out. I think I'm going to call my friends. Hello. Hello, Eric. So let's go to the lake today. Seems awesome.
Hello? Yeah, sure. Let me call my Kia. Yeah, hello, my Kia. Are you down to go to the lake today?
Of course, I'd love to go to the lake. Yeah, it feels pretty good outside. Okay, I'll see.
There's 3 wastewater treatment plants in Northeast Ohio: southerly, easterly, and westerly. These 3 treat the water every day, other than when there's a heavy rainfall. Then it is released into the environment and ends up polluting our lake, causing us not to be able to swim.
Because of the sewage overflow.
Oh, shucks. Look at this smell. They didn't make a new policy to get us something our beautiful lake.
All right, go ahead. No, you gotta go. No.
There actually is a policy change happening. Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District is working hard on improving this situation. They clean 90 billion gallons a year.
Project Clean Lake, the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District will have the outflows reduced by 98% by making improvements to the wastewater treatment plants and intercept sewers. There are 7 large projects underway: Euclid Creek and Dugway storage tunnels, as well as the tunnel dewatering pump station, and more coming. Shoreline Storage Tunnel, Westerly, Don Valley, Big Creek, and Southerly Tunnel.
The projects we just mentioned reduces from 4,575 million gallons to 494 million gallons. The little green sliver represents projects Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District will use to reduce CSOs. A common theme we found from articles is the EPA will give you more time to complete your projects if you include green infrastructure. Over the next 20 years, Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District is going to spend $3 billion on Project Clean Lake, which is a dramatic increase from the past.
What this slide shows is the cost per annual value of CSO for each of the projects that we mentioned. Euclid Creek and Dugway storage tunnels are a little over $1, and they will eliminate 60 million gallons. Green infrastructure will reduce 44 million gallons and will cost over $3 per annual value of CSO.
So we touched a little on cost. This is a $3 billion investment, and this slide shows the breakdown of costs in millions. As you can see, the green slice represents green infrastructure.
This slide represents the tunnels, pump stations, and relief sewers that the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District is undertaking. We're running out of time. This is our policy. This is not a kill shade. It's algae from Lake Erie. Do you want your family swimming in this? Do you want your family bathing in this? This is coming from our water supply.
Although the CSOs are a problem, we have another one. Algae in Lake Erie. Last August, 500,000 residents did not have safe drinking water for about 3 days, and this was not the first time.
A combination of wind, waves, and current have pinned the blooms of blossom green algae. The algae contains toxic microcysteines, which the city of Toledo has been unable to remove from its drinking water. So if you can't drink it, you can't bathe or cook with it. Where does it come from? Agricultural phosphorus. There is very little policy or incentive for farmers and livestock producers to do what needs to be done to reduce the algae blooms in Lake Erie.
There is a bill called Senate Bill 1. That applies to Ohio, but not other states. To reduce the phosphorus runoff, Lake Erie is the shallowest of all the Great Lakes, which allows all problems to flow downstream. Although Ohio EPA is testing, the reality is the same rules should apply to all. EPA is going to have to look at this across the board and provide reduction levels similar to those used for CSOs.
My name is Ariana Shank.
My name is Ashley Spraggins.
My name is Sheree Morrison.
And we'd like to thank all the mentors and Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District for providing us with this information. Thank you.
My reaction is, wow. But I'll let these guys tell you more.
Well, as the Chief Operating Officer for the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, I would love to get my hands on that video of the beach because that has to go up on our internet site just as soon as possible.
You can
It was
see us
awesome.
after.
Great. I had no idea that's what happened when we posted those little signs that said that we had an overflow. But it's a serious problem that plagues our region. And I just, wondered if you knew where we used to be in terms of CSO discharge, like back in the 70s, how bad the problem is. We're 4.5 billion gallons right now, but back in the 70s, any guess as to how much we had going out?
Oh, we researched this so many times, and I was actually telling my teacher it. Woo, but that number slipped my mind.
That's okay. I'll help you out there. It was 9. It used to be 9, and we're at 4.5 now, which is in half, which is great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But in order to address the phosphorus issue in Lake Erie, obviously there's a lot of work to be done. And I just wondered if the difference between water coming out of a pipe into the lake is called a point source, and water that goes into the lake that doesn't come out of a pipe but gets there just kind of naturally through fields and things is called non-point source. And I wondered if any of your research on the phosphorus issues in Lake Erie, if you looked at understanding the difference between the point sources and the non-point sources, and if you had any ideas as to what you think could be causing the algae problem, contributing more.
We actually did search it up. It's the phosphoric acid, I believe, is what that the algae actually feeds on, and what makes it worse. So when we have a sewage overflow, the algae feeds on that, which makes it worse.
And I guess I had a follow-up question is, you looked at some of the agricultural changes that are happening. Do you think agriculture is pulling its weight and doing enough to stop these water quality problems?
I say yes. Since we do have the green infrastructure, like we mentioned, as well as this project happening with all these tunnels and all this money and all this time going into this project, I would say yes, they're actually working towards fixing this problem by, like we said, they're reducing it by 98%. You guys? Okay. I guess I'll stay.
I think you guys did a wonderful job in your presentation. It was very thorough and
Thank you.
well thought out, and I really love the creative, unique approach in incorporating the video.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And once again, that's the Max Hayes team. We're gonna bring up one more group and then we're gonna move over to some scholarship awards. So right now, this next group is from New Tech West. This is their 4th year participating with ACE. They say they work well together, they had a lot of fun, and they lived up to the team's name of Achieving Cultural Unity. Please welcome Junior Cesar Garcia and seniors Tanisha Billups and Ezel Murphy and Michael Sterrett.
We actually have one filling in for Ezel.
You have, I'm sorry?
Junior Alex.
Ezel's not here. Filling in for Ezel is, go ahead. Alex Jones. Take it away.
All right. Hello, my name is Cesar Garcia, and we are from New Tech West. Our team's name is Achieving Cultural Unity. Our team's approach to the RFP was that we went to a field trip, had several discussions, watched videos, and had a guest speaker. During this field trip, we learned the different methods of cleaning water and the different equipments they use. We even did an activity to show how water gets affected by the environment. During our sessions, we discussed the different types of sewer systems. We learned that Cleveland uses a combined sewer system. We also talked about water conservation and water pollution. Jeff, who was our guest speaker from the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, explained the best control water measures. We also got to do a fun hands-on activity about water runoff. Our challenge was to reduce the impervious area on our school property and to reduce the amount of storm water our site produces. The shaded area on the map represents all the impervious area in Cleveland. Our RFP project focused on water conservation, water management, and water pollution. To show how we got there, the challenges we faced, and our results, our next speaker will now talk.
Hello, I'm Michael Sterrett. And in the next few slides, I will discuss our approach to the RFP. For our site, we chose our current school. Mainly, because it is 98% impervious and it's going to be destroyed, as well as to propose better water practices. As I said, 98% is impervious, so with that, it's actually a fact here. Half an inch of water produces 56,000 gallons of water running into the combined sewers. With that, the combined sewers is just a large pipe with rainwater, runoff, everything like that, and sanitary waste. So, we knew that the site would be demolished, so we developed a design with better water management in mind, and we broke the work into 2 focus groups, the parking lot and the roof. A colleague of mine, Carlos, made these hand-drawn sketches, and with these, it helped us to come up with our design. And the details about the roof and the parking lot will be covered by our next 2 speakers.
Good evening, I am Tanisa Bellis. I am part of the parking lot team. For the parking lot, we use pervious materials. Pavement comes in many forms that allows water to flow into the soil. These are some examples of pervious pavement. These are examples of the cost of the pervious pavements and other materials that we looked up. We actually built a model of grasscrete and porous pavement to show to people. Let me introduce our next speaker, Alex.
Hello, my name is Alex Jones and I was part of the roof team. Our roof originally, which is the bottom picture, is roughly 100,000 square feet of impervious material and costs, since it's being destroyed, it costs about $13 million to replace it. Oh, 1.3 million. So we proposed to reduce the water runoff and to increase the water conservation rate, that we decided to use a park on our roof. It's roughly 20,000 feet and cost less than what it would to rebuild the stable or previous roof. The bottom 5 are the ones that they use to build a regular roof, but we added the ones from the drainage all the way up, and so it would reduce 75% of the water runoff, reducing about 42,000 gallons of water, and it will provide a beauty in a place that was old and dirty, and it insulates the roof for heating and cooling during the winter and summer. And then, as you can see, the day of the installation is what it would look like, and then 1 month, and then a year after. That's what it would look like when it was finished. And then here to discuss the results is Cesar.
All right. Our team's design used pervious pavement. We converted a large amount of the parking lot to green space, and our new building will have a green roof. All of this resulted in a 75% reduction of water, or 42,000 gallons, for that same ½ inch of rain. We learned that water quality is a serious problem in the greater Cleveland area. If we, the people, did our part to improve water quality, our community would benefit. Thank you.
If we do our part, the community will benefit Take it away.
Great. First of all, very nice presentation. I like the PowerPoint. You guys are speaking very clearly. I could hear everything, and you explained it in terms that I could get, so I really appreciate that. This is a fantastic view into what we could do if we could do it all over again. The map that you showed that showed the imperviousness of our greater Cleveland area, can you believe that we are more impervious than New York City? Because they have Central Park and we don't. But the fact that as we have an opportunity to rebuild and turn over an old school, and we have an opportunity to do it the right way the second time around is a sign of renewal for our urban core, and every bit of concrete and pavement that gets turned over, if it got thought of in this way, we could be, as my colleague to my left likes to say, the green city on the blue lake. So that's terrific. I had a question about the half-inch of rainfall, and that the roof has been designed to take a half-inch of rainfall. Cleveland, we get rain a little bit heavier than that. We get like the 2-inch rainfall. So what's going to happen to the stormwater that's greater than that half-inch of initial rainfall?
More or less, we went for a rough estimate saying half an inch because that's typically what would hit our school. Since it is right on the lakefront, all of the rain would actually go inland. So if it were to rain heavier than that, I believe that all of the excess water would actually end up turning into runoff, if whatever doesn't get absorbed, that is. Because we would have trees, some plants that wouldn't really need that much water, that they would take that water and still use it.
So I liked how you reconceptualized your school and decided what could fit on that site. Eric Gordon's here. I think maybe he can. Will you build this school? Is this something that could? You might see this happen. This is the first time that green roofs, I think, have come up tonight. That's something that hasn't been used in Cleveland as much as some other cities. Chicago, for example, is doing lots of green roofs. So I was just wanted to know how you came upon that concept and why you were interested in it.
Actually, the funny thing is, I just got back from Chicago Sunday, and I was able to see some of those green roofs. And I actually learned about it myself in 8th grade when we went on a camping trip. And during our meetings, we were trying to think of ways on how to cut down on water. So I said, green roof. Then Renee and everybody started jumping in and they're like, oh yeah, a green roof, a green roof, a green roof. Then we went to the watershed, as you can see in that picture there, and they actually had one there. And they were saying how it cut down on heating, cut down on cooling costs, and it was able to save so much more water.
Let's keep it going for the New Tech West team. Congratulations on your presentation. Reactor panel, you're more than welcome to stay if you'd like, or you can take your seats temporarily while we award some scholarships. I'll leave it up to you. I'll take your seat. So right now is the time where we will be giving away some of the scholarships. At this time, I'd like to welcome from the Gilbane Building Company, Courtney Bem, and from University Hospitals, Mr. Crandall Miller.
Thank you, Rob. And again, thanks again for all of you being here. This is very much fun for us now to award scholarships. We're going to now introduce our first group of scholarship winners. This evening, we're splitting this up contrary to how we've done that in the past. Eligible seniors were required to complete applications, collect reference letters, and create comprehensive essay responses, which were reviewed and evaluated by our scholarship committee. We also took into consideration their academic test scores, other extracurricular activities, However, a key part of their evaluation which was each student's level of participation, teamwork, and leadership within the ACE organization. In addition to Courtney and myself, the other scholarship committee members at this time, we would like to recognize you. So as I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Bob Durham from College Now, Greater Cleveland. Hans Walter from Bostwick Design Partnership. Jeff Henderson, Then Design Architecture. Jamie Cairns, Karpinski Engineering. Jacqueline Jacob from Trumbull Great Lakes Rulin. Anthony Lazar from Maroos Brothers. Angela Jones from Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. Diane Burrowbridge from University of Akron. Sandra English from Cleveland State University. Kristen Zieber from Kent State University. And Kenneth Hale from Cuyahoga Community College. I can tell you personally from reading all these scholarship applications that there are deep stories behind each one of these young people. And it's not enough, we can't cover all that tonight. It's been expressed from our keynote speaker and others, and we just highly value everybody's participation. The pathways these young women and men have trod as they've come to this place. And everybody's support here tonight means an incredible amount to them and their families, and this is just a huge celebration for us. So you've all been a very key part of that. I want to thank you to the seniors from James Rhodes, John Hay, New Tech West, and Max Hayes who submitted applications. We appreciate the time and effort that each of you put into submissions, and it really showed with your submissions. They were deep, they were thoughtful, well presented. A little bit on the awards and how those are made up. The awards are made possible by University Hospitals, who is contributing $50,000 of the total we'll be awarding tonight, and has remained a tremendous contributor to ACE over the past 6 years. To date, UH has donated a total of $250,000 to ACE students. We also have 8 companies and local organizations providing individual sponsorships, and 4 universities who have committed to match the UH funds to provide additional support to our students. Additionally, for the 2nd year in a row, we have $18,000 available from the Cleveland Foundation for students planning to study architecture specifically. In total, $99,000 will be awarded this evening to 18 students.
For the first group of awards, I'd like to invite the following individuals up to help present these. If you could come to the side. From the National Association of Women in Construction, Myra Wells, and from the Chazzy Phipps Company, Dave Thomas. From Construction Employers Association, Tim Linville. From Rudd Equipment Company, Martin McCutcheon. From Regency Construction Services, Terry Rivera. And from Turner Construction, Orlando Taylor. So the following awards are one-time grants, and these are made possible by these local businesses and organizations. The first award goes to a student who's a three-year ACE student at James Rhodes. She's been described as very creative, with good questions, serious ACE student who brings great ideas to the team. She's planning to study at Kent State, Ohio State, or the University of Akron, and receiving a $1,000 one-time award made possible by NAWIC and the Chazzy Phipps Company is Karen Kim. Is Karen here? Oh, she comes. Thanks. Yeah.
And there's a photographer.
The next award goes to a student who's a three-year ACE participant at John Hay. He had perfect attendance this year in ACE. He was very engaged in the program, described as creative and focused. In his free time, he actually made short films with the puppets that he designs and creates. He's planning to study theater and set design at the Cleveland Institute of Art. Receiving a $1,500 one-time award made possible by Independence Excavating is Ricardo Davis. The next award goes to a student who's a 2-year ACE participant who also had perfect attendance at John Hay. He's creative and bright. He took it upon himself to get things accomplished on the team, and put forth an amazing effort to follow through on task for their final project. He will be attending Cleveland State University to study computer science and receiving $1,500 one-time award made possible by the Construction Employers Association is Brian Stombaugh. The next award goes to a student from James Rhodes, who is a 2-year ACE participant, described as very talented and artistic and a big contributor to the ACE team this year with his great skills in SketchUp. He plans to study engineering at Akron, Cleveland State, or Tri-C. Receiving a $1,500 one-time award made possible by Rudd Equipment Company is Alexander Denizovich. The next award also goes to a Rhodes student who's been a 3-year ACE participant and had perfect attendance. She has great energy and was constantly positive with the team no matter what the task at hand. She's planning to study psychology at Miami University, John Carroll, or Baldwin Wallace. The recipient of a $1,500 one-time award made possible by Regency Construction Services is Andrea Lappa. The final one-time grant award goes to a student who's a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay, described as a creative and collaborative leader. She's planning to study engineering at either Kent or Ohio University, and the recipient of a $1,500 one-time grant made possible by Turner Construction is Amber Green.
For the next scholarship awards, I'd like to invite Ms. Mary Beth Levine to the stage to help present for University Hospitals. Mary Beth is our Vice President for System Resources. This next student is a 2-year ACE participant at Max Hayes. The next 3 scholarships are all renewable awards made possible by University Hospitals. So the first one, this student is a 2-year ACE participant at Max Hayes High School with perfect attendance this year. Described as very friendly and the leader of the group, always helping to engage other students. She has contagious positive energy and handles situations with grace beyond her years. She's planning to study business at Cleveland State University. Receiving a $1,000 annual award from University Hospitals, please welcome Ariana Shank to the stage. Our next student is a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay with perfect attendance this year also. He's described as creative and one of the top students on the ACE team and a very collaborative leader. He's planning to study business at the University of Akron. be receiving a $1,000 annual award from University Hospitals. Please welcome Lewis Norman. Our final scholarship for this first round, this student is a 3-year ACE participant at James Rhodes who had perfect attendance this year also. You see a pattern here, these students? Described as one of the brightest in ACE and one who makes strong contributions each year to the team's projects. He's planning to study art at the Cleveland Institute of Art. He'll be receiving a $1,000 annual award from University Hospitals. Please welcome Gavin Reeland.
Reactor panel, we are ready for you now. And while they're making their way to the stage for the second round of presentations, I'd like to talk a little bit about the next team that will be approaching. This is their inaugural year with ACE. It consists of 19 students and 5 mentor firms. They call themselves the Railroaders. And they said they're ready for the challenge of being the new kids on the block. So let's give a warm welcome to the Collinwood team, their master of ceremony, Corian Robinson, and his fellow presenters, Stephen Allen, Lorenzo Davis, Duval Young, Sirocco Dooley, and Deza Gamble.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corian Robinson, and today I'm here our team is here to present to you our Wood Family Project. Where my Wood members at? There we go. To start off next, our team broke up into a 2-phase project, which is water management and water conservation. McDonald's parking lot ponding is our water management. Is where we had a ponding issue happening over on 152nd in St. Clair over by Collinwood. The ponding has flooded the parking lot in certain areas and also has overflooded into the gardens as well. Our Euclid Beach cleanup will be explained to you by Team Team Video by Ms. Deja Gamble. Our McDonald's parking lot ponding issue will be explained to you by Team Design and Team SketchUp. Our project managers are Ms. Deja Gamble, Sirocco Dooley for Team SketchUp, and myself, project manager of Team Design. My team consists of Stephon Allen, Lorenzo Davis, Ania Hankins, Devontae Woods, and Tim Eames. Up next, this is a video that will be played to you. This is just an example of our ponding issue that we're having over in the Connewood area. And the project assignment will be presented to you by Mr. Stephon Allen.
Hi, my name is Stephon Allen. Today I will be presenting the project assignment. Our project assignment is to develop a solution for the flooding in McDonald's parking lot. The causes of this issue are trash in the catch basin like black and mild tips, rocks, leaves, and other debris. Also, we have a small sewer pipe under the ground by the catch basin that has a small slope in it. Our main line sewer pipe on 152nd of St. Clair is clogged. Task completed. We visited the site. We talked with McDonald's people about the flooding in the parking lot. This is a picture of it. We also got our mentors to survey McDonald's parking lot. We discussed possible solutions using some of the materials that we learned in our program, like the Bower Retention Garden and also the storm system improvements. Now Lorenzo Davis will present the Bower Retention Garden.
Hi, my name is Lorenzo Davis, and now I'm going to present to you about the Bower Retention Garden. In the Bower Retention Garden, I'm going to explain how we have it set up. The way we have it set up is we have 4 cuts into the curve, so that allows water to flow freely into the Bower Retention Garden. In the 4 cuts, we are going to allow stone pathways so the water can flow freely without getting to the plants and destroying their crop. At the end of the pathways, we're going to plant large amount of large grass, because a large amount of large grass is allowed to control all the water. Now I'm going to explain the under of the Bower Retention Garden. In the Bower Retention Garden, we have the layers set up. The first layer is soil, which allows the grasses and the plants to soak up the water. Under the layer is sand. The sand allows the water to flow freely into the stone pavement under it. Under the stone pavement is a pipe, the drainage pipe that allows water to flow freely into the catch basin, which goes into the sewer. Now I'm going to introduce Deval Young to explain the sewer.
Good evening. My name is Deval Young, senior at Connewood High School. Now, the goal of our team was to identify the issue for the pipe clogging over at McDonald's parking lot and to also develop a solution. We assembled some pipes with a similar configuration to the pipe system that lies under McDonald's. This here is an illustration that we made in class that shows like the current situation under McDonald's that causes the flooding. As you see here, we have the downspout connection at the beginning. Do you have the laser pointer? Okay. The first part here is the downspout connection, which is where the water starts. Or it can come into the catch basin, which is supposed to catch like the trash, debris, all those things, which leads to the storm sewer where we believe that this clogging issue is happening. Now, our team had found an ideal solution which consisted of an increased elevation to the pipe system. Now, this idea seemed to be too costly for McDonald's parking lot, and it would also inconvenience drivers. So we came up with an alternative solution. This here is our alternative solution, which simply consisted of a storm sewer cleanout. This allows us to access the storm sewer. Also, it allows us to clean it out. And this solution we came up with, McDonald's agreed to and planned to install the storm sewer cleanout. This here is an illustration of our proposed idea. As you see here, the 2 storm cleanouts are where we can access the storm sewer and clean out the debris or find out whether which line the storm cloggage is at, whether it's McDonald's concern or the city's, because that would determine who would have to pay for this proposed idea. Now I'll turn it over to Stefan Allen. Thank you.
We also designed a solution for the draining of the water in the parking lot, which McDonald's is going to clean their storm system. Also, the city is considering to clean the combined sewers. Ooh, my fault. We completed design for the bioretention garden. The bioretention garden will slow down the water that drains to the catch basin. By making these improvements, McDonald's will regain their parking spots.
Thank you for that. Next up, we have Team SketchUp, who consists of Sirocco Dooley, Raymel Menifee, Latonio Brazil, and Nautica Gaynor. The project manager of SketchUp, Sirocco Dooley, will be giving you a little bit of insight.
I'm Sirocco, project manager of Team SketchUp. SketchUp is a free computer program that's accessible at school and our mentors are very experienced with. Team SketchUp goal was to come up with the before and after design of the McDonald's ponding issue. As you can see here, this is McDonald's with the ponding issue still in place. Our main problem is here, where you can see that the ponding is 15 to 20 feet long and 6 to 8 inches deep, which made it difficult for cars to drive through and park in, and for people such as the students of Collinwood to walk through to get to the McDonald's. This is our design of McDonald's, but in place to take care of the ponding issue, we have the bioretention garden. That way that not only is the ponding gone, but the water is also being used productively to do things such as water the plants. Our team objectives were to take measurements of the McDonald's itself and the gate around it. Then we used 3 computer programs to make our designs called SketchUp, ZBrush, and Unreal Engine 4. SketchUp was used to create the base model. ZBrush was used to come up with details such as doors, windows, and the textures of the building. Unreal Engine 4 was to bring them together and make the animations look as realistic as possible. As you can see here, this is our design of the McDonald's with the ponding issue in place using Unreal Engine 4. What is this? This is our 30-second clip illustrating the ponding issue in the parking lot using Unreal Engine 4. As you can see, we're going around showing you where the ponding issue is in the McDonald's area on 152nd and St. Clair. In conclusion, we came up with our SketchUp of the McDonald's with the ponding issue in place and with our bioretention garden in place to take care of the ponding issue. Now I'll bring you back to our MC, Corian Robinson.
Up next, we have our team video, who consists of Ms. Deja Gamble, Ms. Akia Hashim, Ms. Rihanna Sanders, Ms. Patricia Washington, and Mr. Deval Young. Our project manager of team video, Ms. Deja Gamble, will give you a little insight.
While some of our group focused on water management, my part of the group focused on water conservation. We participated in cleaning up the Euclid Beach, where trash traveled from the McDonald's on 152nd into one storm drain, through the sewer system, and onto Lake Erie. We will now show you a video on how litter impacts the urban watershed.
Have you ever wondered about all the trash you see on the ground?
Does it stay on the ground and instantly dissolve?
No. Does it turn to flowers?
No. Or does it turn into dirt?
No.
What happens to it when it rains?
I don't know.
Well, I do. It gets into the sewer.
In the sewer?
Yes, in the sewer.
Because when it rains, the trash overloads the sewer and heads straight to the lake.
Then how can we prevent that?
Pick up your trash. That's what you do.
And how do you feel about the beach cleanup?
I think it's a really good thing because this area needs a lot of attention after the winter, so good to get ready for spring.
First, it's important to prevent littering because once thrown onto the ground, it collects and blocks water flow.
Also, not littering makes the environment healthier and more visually appealing.
In order to keep the environment clean, we need to figure out better cleaning habits.
There are many different ways to expose why it is important to clean up where you live.
And do you think that the beach cleanup is a good idea?
Yes, I think it's a very good idea because we can clear the streets from trash and maybe get water for things.
Although you will almost never get a group of people to care about an issue, the most important thing you can do is try. The reason we have this video team is so we can associate visuals to the content of the project. Once people see the material, it is literally a recreation of the reality that we saw. Our hope is to connect the audience emotionally so they care about this situation as much as we do. Using the news as a media outlet is a way in today's society to get a message across to a large audience. It was a wonderful opportunity to have 19 Action News here and be able to speak to them where we've been able to accomplish and gain extra exposure. That's a big trash bag. Oh my goodness, in the tree.
This program has really given me more of an open mind. When I first came into the program, my plans was to just go ahead and major in music and communication. But going through this process and being with this group and becoming more than just friends, but we became a family, I'd also decided that I want to go into college and major in engineering and construction. This program has also allowed half of us to go into the field, go visit some sites, and see how the water works around our town or our city. So I would like to also say thank you for listening, and we'll be taking any questions.
Well, you heard them reaction panel. They're taking any questions. So.
In full disclosure, although I work for the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, I am seeing this project for the first time tonight. And I'm jealous that I wasn't part of it all along the way because it looks like it was a lot of fun. I think it was a great presentation. I am blown away by the use of technology that you guys are using. I mean, back in the day, we used like poster board. You know, we didn't have Engine 4, some sort of program that you guys used to simulate a walkthrough around a building. I mean, that just blows my mind. So the leveraging of the technology that's available is just immense when you're trying to communicate a problem from engineering in the real world that you're trying to solve. And I just want to really commend your use of technology in an effective way as a tool to communicate the problem. So you hit that one out of the ballpark for me.
That ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', violin, living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with
Like the Academy Awards, they start playing the music, just wrap it up, get off the... Congratulations, Collinwood. Hey, you know that McDonald's? They have the same problem over on Carnegie, over by Hot Sauce Williams. I can't go there because the parking lot's flooded. If you guys could figure out how to fix that, I'd really appreciate it. All right. Our next team, you already know who they are, don't you? I don't. Our next team, where is my place? They come to us from James Rhodes, the same road. They call themselves the Engineers. And they're going to present to us on water conservation, water pollution, and water management. I don't have your names, so introduce yourselves.
All right. My name is Taylor Watson. Whoa.
My name is Caitlin Dreyer.
My name is Gavin Ryland.
My name is Anil Ochin.
My name is Jessica Uroki.
Hi, my name is Greg Wright.
And hello, everyone, and good evening. We would like to ask that you keep all applause until the end of the presentation, if you don't mind. But before we get into it, how's everyone doing tonight? All right. Well, as I said, my name is Taylor Watson, and we are the RAM Structure Design and Build Team, or the Engineers. From conception to creation, over 30 students have worked on this project. Our request for proposal, or RFP, for this year was to deal with different aspects of water. We chose to deal with water conservation. Water conservation is the preservation, control, and development of both fresh and groundwater. During our early planning, we discussed many possibilities that could help with these issues of water conservation. In our discussions, 3 main ideas to keep coming up. Those were the permeable pathways, a garden, and a community center. We knew that we wanted to incorporate these into our final project. I will now hand it off to Jessica, who will begin to talk about the beginning of our project.
Hello, everyone. After the brainstorming process, our team constructed a rough layout of our design. This conceptual design displays the beginning renderings of our project. The RAM Structure team is going to design a site plan to regulate, conserve, and manage water. The location we decided to conceptualize our plan was William Rainey Harper Elementary School, which is located at 5515 Ira Avenue, here in Cleveland, Ohio. This layout displays a top view of our site, which we will begin to break ground. From the Cuyahoga County's auditor's website, we determined the lowest elevation. Based on this, we determined where we will build our water tanks and where we will place them. I will now let Gavin talk to you guys about the overall project.
Thank you. Hi there. Okay. Our project is comprised of multiple components that will collect rainwater and water runoff. Here is the view of our project at our site. We decided to make a community center that has a green roof, which will collect water runoff. This runoff will be stored in our water tanks and can be used to help the garden flourish. Both the parking lot and the main pathway are made of a permeable substance, which now we all know allows water to pass through. By collecting this water, it can be used for the practical use of watering our garden. This garden will be a community garden, so we are not only being water efficient, but we're also engaging the community. Greg will now tell you the key component of our project.
Thank you, Gavin. This is the key aspect of our project, the community center. It has a dome-like structure comprised of a green roof. Green roofs help to reduce the problem of water runoff by collecting it for practical use. With this roof, the building is highly sustainable because it is very well insulated. This means that it will stay at consistent temperatures throughout the hot summer and cool winter months. Caitlin will now explain how we intend on using our collected water.
These water tanks will be the containers that hold our collected water. Both rainwater and runoff will be stored in these tanks with an underground pump to ensure they work properly. The water collected can be used by those community members who hold a plot in the garden. The garden, which as mentioned before, is open to members of the community where they can grow flowers, but also vegetables and other crops that will be able to be sustained in Cleveland weather. Included will be different types of fruits and berries and varied flowers and trees. Now I will let Anil tell you all about our permeable pathways.
The main pathways will be constructed of permeable pavers, which will help in water collection. The runoff water can be used for surrounding plant life and vegetation. Benefits of permeable pavers also include being cooler than standard sidewalks. In relation, they will also further reduce the local ambient temperature. This will be beneficial to the garden as well as being water efficient. Now we will show you a video that would show what it would be like to walk down the main pathways. Here's the main pathway which separates the garden from the congregation area. Now we will head towards our community center, which is centered around water conservation. Now we'll pan back towards our garden, which is displayed by the brown. This view gives a great aerial shot of the whole project and how it all fits together. We wanted the materials to help satisfy our RFP in being water efficient. This meant using materials like recycled steel and fly ash concrete because they use less water in production and construction. The green roof consists of protection fabric, root barrier, and waterproofing membrane. This will ensure the longevity of the dome-like structure. The pathways will comprise of three main components: permeable pavers, open grade bedding, and coarse grade base. Our garden will consist of topsoil and mulch for the respective plants. Greg here will now share about the sustainability of our project.
Thank you, Anil. Because of the green roof of the building, it is highly sustainable, as I said before, because it's able to keep the interior cool in the summer months and well insulated during the winter months. We wanted our building to pass the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, more commonly known as LEED standards. So we went through a checklist to see how well our project satisfies our standards. As seen here, all the choices we made to our project to satisfy our RFP also helped in satisfying the LEED standards. In fact, our project would meet the qualifications to be LEED Platinum with 96 out of 110 points possible. In order to be energy efficient as well, we used 4 1,000-watt solar panels. We came to this by determining the size of the building and how much energy we would need in order to keep it going. I will now hand it back to Taylor, who will go over the budget.
Thank you, Greg. The budget for our project is an approximate $3.3 million. This would include the plants, crops, trees, interior and exterior building materials, and the pathways, both permeable and mulch. We know that there's tentative plans for the site right now for a future school, but we're hoping that if you really like our presentation, that maybe we could put that there instead, in which that case we will get you a schedule for our project. As you can see, a lot of work has gone into this project. This would not have been possible without the guidance and expertise of our mentors. We would like to thank everyone here for their time, along with the several firms which we have got our mentors: AECOM, Boswick, CNS Engineering, Linestream Technologies, Osborne, Turner Construction, and Vocon. Without these companies, this presentation would not be possible, as they have guided us with their much-needed expertise. We would also like to thank Mr. Paul Lockhart, our teacher, and Dr. Charlene Hilliard, our principal, for allowing us to have this opportunity. We would like to extend our thanks to everyone for listening, and thank you for your time.
Reaction panel, react.
I just want to say I was impressed at how fully realized the concept was and how many different factors you considered, including the topography of the site, so you really understood your location, how to fit something in the slope of the site. That's an important starting point. And then taking it through all the way to the LEED green building standard. And that forced you to look at a lot of other green building elements as well. So I thought you packed a lot into this application.
I agree. I think you did a very thorough job and great presentation, and I like the idea that you incorporated the green building standards. So, great job.
Thank you, engineers. Our next presenters are from John Hay. They are the John Hay Seniors. They were challenged with taking on the construction of green roof technology. They got to use hand tools and power tools, it says. Exciting already. So please welcome, if you will, Lydia Johnson, Amber Green, Alejandra Carlisle, and that's all of you, right?
I think, yeah.
And
I
y'all,
think you got us.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You got it.
It's all yours. Take it.
Thank you. Introductions have pretty much been covered, but good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lydia Johnson.
I'm Amber Green.
And I'm Elajane Carlisle. And we're seniors from the Cleveland School of Architecture and Design, representing our ACE team, the Archititans, as we present this year's project to you. Cue video, please. Thank you. For those of you who were at last year's banquet, you may remember us having a bit of a technical difficulty with a certain video. Well, we're happy to announce that this year the video is up and running perfectly well. Woo! Now, this video is actually a recording of the 4-week process we underwent as we embarked on our journey of actually building our pavilion from start to finish. We built this pavilion for students at our school as our interpretation of last year's theme, shelter. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and this year no one could actually use our pavilion or the courtyard where it was located due to a lack of places to sit and, even worse, a huge puddle. You can't see it yet, but it's coming, it's big. A huge puddle in the middle of the courtyard caused by flooding from the rain. Ironically enough, this tied in perfectly with this year's theme of water and water conservation. So we decided on a project that would let us redesign our pavilion in a way that would allow us to control water flow, to help reduce the flooding, add more places to sit, and ultimately beautify our courtyard and make it more usable and appealing to students. Seriously, it was bad. We couldn't even get freshmen out there. Can you see the puddle? Ugly, right? You can go ahead, please. Thank you. Thus began our quest for water. We had our theme, and we had our goal. Our mentors helped us find ideas to combine the two. Since our specific focus was water conservation, our mentors took us on a scavenger hunt around John Hay's campus, University Circle, and Case Western's campus to find examples of water conservation in the architecture. On Case's campus specifically, we had the opportunity to stand on their green roof, which would later become a huge inspiration for us in our project. We were also able to take we were also able to take a field trip and receive exposure to areas outside of Cleveland that we weren't particularly familiar with.
We visited the Watershed Stewardship Center, which is a Cleveland Metro Park in Parma, Ohio. There is where we learned about stormwater management and the importance of conservation of water. And we also had the privilege of taking a tour of their facility, and that's where we got to see their green roof, which sparked the idea of making our own green roof and adding it to our pavilion.
So, again, all of these experiences culminated, all of these experiences culminated and inspired us to build a green roof for our final project. To get ourselves ready, we did a little research on what exactly a green roof is and how it relates to water conservation as a whole. By definition, a green roof is exactly what the name says, a roof that's either partially or fully covered by plants and vegetation separated by a waterproof membrane or layer. They play a major role in green zoning and green building as they absorb rainwater and decrease flooding in the areas where they're located. They also promote plant growth, making the building a more functional, environmentally friendly, and beautiful structure. So, before we were actually able to start redesigning the pavilion and the courtyard as a whole, we had to assess the following problems. No, number one, and most importantly, was flooding. The pavilion's original tarp covering was caved in due to heavy rainfall and snow buildup basically on top. It was disgusting, it was falling in, there was a huge dirty puddle. It made the whole thing look droopy and damp. No one wanted to go near it.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. We were kind of embarrassed. The courtyard, as I said, also had a serious puddle problem where a huge puddle would form in the center whenever it rained, and it would sit there for days. Another issue was that the courtyard was still pretty ugly. It was. Last year we wanted to beautify it, but there was still no greenery. There was just lots of concrete and faded furniture. The whole space looked extremely uninviting. I mean, would you want to sit out there? No, we didn't. Again, and there was no place to sit. With the pavilion unusable and there being only about 4 benches that were kind of run down, there wasn't any real space for the students to lounge and enjoy themselves, again, making the whole courtyard look uninviting. So, how did we do it? Our mentors worked with us during the design process by coaching us in several computer design programs. We revisited Google SketchUp, something we learned about last year, and were introduced to Red Advanced and RAM, which allowed us to create 3D digital models of our building that showed us how the weight of the roof should be distributed so that we could determine the best way to avoid too much stress on the pavilion so it wouldn't fall down when we actually built it. They also collaborated with us to find 5 potential redesigns to the pavilion, which we all as a team built models of, and then later came to a group consensus on which one we wanted to use.
So finally, we're ready for construction. We began to utilize Google SketchUp to create digital models of our pavilion in order to find out how much the load would be for our green roof. We decided we needed flower boxes, reinforcements so that the weight of the roof would be supported, the roof deck, waterproofing mat, and a vegetative roof tray. We continue to use wood because it's easy to work with, easy to find, and it's durable. The overall feel is inviting, which is what we would hope to accomplish in our courtyard. Next, we developed a cost analysis of materials we need: gravel, topsoil, concrete, and steel. Here, you'll see a breakdown of how much each piece of wood would cost. The total material cost was $1,475 with an additional $3,000 for our actual green roof, which was donated by Trimco. So we'd like to thank them at this moment for that additional donation.
So, with building comes safety. Safety is very, very important. So because we use tools such as hammers, nails, and of course the wood, and power drills, it's very important to wear your safety goggles, and our ACE mentors were awesome at making sure we use the perfect techniques in order to use the tools correctly. And I'm very proud to say that all of our ACE members completed the project with all 10 fingers. So the building process, it was divided up into about 4 focus groups. The first group was the benches, second group was the green roof, third group was the flower boxes, and the fourth group was the flowers themselves, and they kind of dictated the beautification of our courtyard. I'm so sorry for hitting this. The flower boxes and benches went through the same process. We had to first have a certain design and sketch everything, like how the boxes and benches were going to look, and collect all the drawings, then organize all the materials that were being used, and then measure and cut the wood correctly, make sure we had the right measurements, and then finally verifying again, making sure that everything was correct before finally assembling and bringing our final product together. The green roof group decided on sedums and grass to use on top of our green roof because they absorb water, they reduce runoff and flooding. They don't require lots of soil, which is very important to us because it helps the roof of our pavilion to not cave in because it doesn't require a lot of soil, so it won't be as heavy. And they're also inviting and hardy plants. Our floral group helped to choose the plants that were hardy for Cleveland weather. As we all know, can be very, very tricky. There are seasonal plants and annual plants that can come every single year, plants that don't require constant care, and they're also inviting and beautiful flowers, as you can see. It's really pretty. The final result, this project has benefited the school, the environment, and the students. It's prevented the students because we have finally beautified our courtyard enough for where it's more inviting. They have places to sit now, and people can lounge and enjoy the courtyard, enjoy their school, not just inside, but outside as well. We have enhanced the courtyard with our additions, and that's how it positively impacts our school. And the most important is that it positively impacted the environment because we reduced flooding, we reduced runoff, and I'm very, very, very proud to say that we have achieved all of our goals from the beginning of the year. We have conserved water, we have added a green roof, and we have beautified our school courtyard all at the same time. So a special thank you first goes out to our ACE juniors. As you can see, you have big shoes to fill. And a special round of applause to our ACE mentors. If you could please stand and give them a round of applause. They've been dedicated to us for 2 years. And we have a new addition to our ACE family, little James over there, just born last month. These ACE mentors have been completely awesome. They've dedicated their time to us for 2 years, and they've been so helpful, and this has just been a great learning experience, a very rewarding experience for all of us. We thank you guys so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Don't leave yet. We want to hear from our reactor panel.
Well, I just want to say congratulations on getting your project complete. And I like your approach to the project, identifying the problem, doing your research, and putting together a plan, and you executed very well. So congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I just wanted to say very nice job on the presentation. You're all very articulate, communicating the problem and how you solved it. You did a very nice job presenting. And then I wanted to ask you if any of you are planning to go to college for either engineering or construction, and are you going to bring those talents back to Cleveland after you graduate?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Okay, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for all of our presenters today? Right now, I'd like to invite the ACE Board Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer for the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Mr. Eric Gordon.
So since the reactor panel is stranded up here, let's thank the reactor panel and help them get back to their seats. Thank you. So every year this gets better and better and better. So I'd just like to ask all of our students to stand and be recognized for what they just accomplished. Isn't that incredible? Come on, stand up and show off. Come on now, all of you, up, up, up. So this wouldn't be possible without the support of so many people. You heard Margaret speak about the role of mentors, and we'll be coming back to that valuable role in a moment. We know also there's a large number of family members here supporting, but it's my particular honor today to thank their teachers, the people who have stuck with them all school year, and in many cases year after year, with this project, from what started as just one very small program of 15 kids to now being all of the kids and all of the great work you saw today. I'm just going to go down the list in your program to recognize each of them, and I'd like to invite each of the teachers to come forward. We have a small gift to thank you for everything that you do. I want to start with Collinwood High School, our new team on the block, who took on the challenge, led by Ms. Naomi Levesque. Ms. Levesque? It's hard to get from the back of this room. This is a great problem. It used to be really quick and easy. Collinwood High School, Ms. Levesque. Representing James Ford Rhodes High School, who I think we should build that new building on the new Rainey Harper site, but it should be a school, so let's talk about this project. Let's recognize your teacher, Mr. Paul Lockhart. Representing John Hay High School, coaching both the junior team and the senior team. The junior team, I have to tell you that the Tri-C Park you're inventing is actually being discussed by the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority and the community college and the library and the district. We need a park on that corner. We've got a project to start off. And then seniors taking the green roof strategy into reality, and that is led by Mrs. Sarah Dalrymple, or Ms. D. Come on, Ms. D. Our Max Hayes High School team. I have to tell you that while we wanted to get the video up, I've already tweeted to Pound Project Clean Lake, so it's already out there on the Northeast Ohio Sewer District. And this is a team led by Megan Gasparo-Selman, or Ms. G. Next is our New Tech East program at East Technical High School, who did a great beautification of that campus. This is the teacher in me, I loved the answer to how you sustain it is you teach people to garden. And I thought that was just a fabulous addition to it. And this is with our teacher, Mr. Clarence Bennett. Mr. Bennett. And our New Tech West team that's at Max Hayes. I do have to tell you, the new Max Hayes High School has a, permeous driveway, parking lot, that no one will park on because it looks too nice. It doesn't look like the parking lots that apparently are not pervious. So when you go there, park on the parking lot. All the water will drain away. And we are going to put a new building at New High School there, and so we've got a lot of design ideas from New Tech West, led by Darren Leteninger. Mr. Leteninger. Well, apparently I didn't do them in the order I was supposed to, so oops. Okay, we can do a lot better than that. Let's give it up for the faculty that led these 7 teams.
And keep it going for Mr. Eric Gordon. Okay, next up, she is, or was, the Mentor of the Year for 2013. She's with Regency Construction Services and the lead mentor for the New Tech West team. I'd like a nice warm welcome for Monica Bruwal.
Thank you. Mentors are the heart and soul of ACE. They volunteer their time and efforts, work to develop positive relationships with students, try to come up with creative activities and lessons. I think we've done that, you can see. And they get to eat a lot of pizza. No one's talked about that all night, but there's a lot of pizza. But mentor activities can go well beyond the 2 hours per session, as there are many things to do, such as attend committee meetings and planning events, fundraise, board meetings, conference calls, and really everything else that takes the place to make the entire ACE program successful. And we are a success. And we owe that to the commitment and passion of all the mentors and the mentor firms. A few years ago, the Cleveland affiliate established the Courtney Beam Exemplary Volunteer Award to recognize an exceptional mentor who has their dedication and activities positively impact not only the students and other mentors, but also the whole affiliate. And this year, the award selection committee was made up of Mark Panzica, Panzica Construction, Roger Newberry, and myself, and we had 5 outstanding nominations for this award, which made for a difficult decision. The finalists for this award include, and when I call your name, please stand, Judd Klein. No, he's not going to stand because he's not here, but Judd Klein with Cividad Services, and he's been a mentor for over 5 years. He has always has great ideas and is currently the lead mentor at New Tech East. Mark Panzica of Panzica Construction Company. Mark is a seasoned mentor at New Tech East as well, and he's also an ACE board member and very active behind the scenes. Leighton McCoy with Dominion East Ohio. This is his 2nd year as mentor and is co-leading the program at Collinwood. He is a big presence in the program and has a strong connection with the students. Angela Jones, Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. This is also her 2nd year as a mentor, and she is co-leading with Leighton the program at Collinwood. And not only does she have contagious excitement and energy for her team, but she also serves on the advisory council. And so now the award recipient, our 5th nomination. The award this year is going to someone who has been a mentor for over 7 years, who rolls up his sleeves to work right alongside the students, offers positive encouragement, and maybe cracks a joke or two along the way. He's an excellent teacher. He's highly approachable and well-liked by the students as well as the mentors. So for 2015, the Courtney Beam Exemplary Volunteer Award is going to Rich Eifelis of CT Consultants. He could not be here this evening, but we surprised him last week at our session when we presented him with the award, and he has a short clip of him accepting the award.
Let me say thanks to the team here, especially Monica.
Oh.
Let me say thanks to the students, as well as thanks to the leadership at ACE Mentor for this award. The real value is working with the students. Get a lot of personal satisfaction out of it, and I hope they came away with learning something, being with me. I know I did being with them. So thanks very much.
Yay!
Thank you.
And keep it going for Monica Burrell. Okay, our next speaker is the Associate Vice President of Access and Community Engagement at Tri-C. Please welcome Dr. Janice Marshall.
Good evening. On behalf of Mr. Kenneth Hale, who could not be with us today, I have some really exciting news to share with you. Many of you know Cuyahoga Community College is a strong and enthusiastic partner with the ACE Mentor Program. We know that these careers, architecture, construction, and engineering, are really in-demand fields in Greater Cleveland. At the most recent Industrial Advisory Committee meeting, members representing the industry felt strongly about the creation of an articulation agreement between ACE and Cuyahoga Community College. What that means, in light of the impressive ACE mentoring learning experience and the team final projects, the agreement is geared to offer students in their senior year the equivalent of learning our 3-credit hour construction engineering orientation course for those seniors beginning fall of 2015. For those students who complete a second year, they will have the opportunity to earn an additional 3 credits in an elective course. This is really exciting news for students who participate in the ACE Mentor program. Now I'd like to present the next scholarship awardee. This student is a 3-year ACE participant at James Ford Rhodes High School, described as an upbeat student with positive influence on others. She had a perfect attendance for the 3 years she participated in the ACE Mentor program. And those who describe her saying no one is more dedicated to the ACE Mentor initiative. She's planning to attend Cuyahoga Community College, and she will be receiving a $1,500 one-time award from Gilbane and a 2-year $1,500 matching award from Cuyahoga Community College. This student is Jessica Inroki. Please join us.
And now to present the remaining scholarships, please welcome back Courtney Beam and Crandall Miller.
I'd like to ask Mary Beth to please join again for more presentations. Thank you, Dr. Marshall. The following are, again, renewable awards made possible by University Hospitals. So our first student has been a 3-year ACE participant at New Tech West with nearly perfect attendance for all 3 years. She brings a fun, joyful attitude to those she's around. She absorbs concepts and applies them in ACE activities fluidly. She's been very committed and has seen extensive growth in the program since she began. She's planning to study graphic design at the University of Akron. She'll be receiving an annual award of $1,250 with a total, there's a match there which will make it a total of $5,000 made possible by University Hospitals. Let's all welcome Keely Zelmer to the stage, please. Our next student is a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay. She's described as the top student in her class. That's saying a lot. She's a natural leader who excels in all areas with great understanding of ACE and a very active team member. She's planning to study international relations at Tulane University. She'll be receiving an annual award of $1,250, again, a total with the match, total of $5,000, again by University Hospitals. Please welcome Lydia Johnson. Photo op. Congratulations, Lydia. I'd like to now invite Diane Burrowbridge from the University of Akron to help present the next award with University Hospitals. Thank you. Our next student is a 3-year ACE participant at James Rhodes High School who had perfect attendance. She's organized, motivated, and a great leader. She kept all the people on her team working together. This past weekend, she even presented at a national conference on education research in Chicago. Planning to study engineering this fall or next year at the University of Akron, be receiving an annual award of $3,000, a $12,000 total with other matching scholarships from both the University of Akron and University Hospitals, is Taylor Watson. Our next award goes to a student who is a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay with great attendance and participation, described as a wonderful person and hard worker who was always on task, a top student who was creative and collaborative among the team. She's planning to attend Baldwin Wallace University, be receiving an annual award of $1,500. With the matching, it'll be a grand total of $6,000, made possible by University Hospitals. Please congratulate Elena Battle.
Our next award is a 3-year participant also at Rhodes who had perfect attendance. He's described as a focused student, and we heard from many mentors who he had reached out to outside of ACE to learn more about the field and jobs in the industry. He loves the feeling of creating things with his hands and seeing finished products. He's planning to study construction or construction management at either Penn State, Bowling Green, or Hocking College. Receiving an annual award of $2,000 for an $8,000 total, made possible by University Hospitals, is Anil Lochin. Where'd everybody go? Here, I'll take it. All right. The next student is also a 3-year ACE participant at James Rhodes with perfect attendance. A lot of our students this year had perfect attendance, and we really appreciate the dedication of the students. He's described as a natural-born leader and ranked as one of our top students overall when the selection committee was ranking the evaluations. He's planning to study engineering or a related field at Baldwin Wallace, Cleveland State, or Miami University. Receiving an annual award of $2,000, made possible by University Hospitals, is Gregory Wright. All right, for the final 2 awards, I'd like to invite up Kristen Zieber from Kent State University. These 2 awards are made possible by a matching award through Kent State's College of Architecture and Environmental Design. They're also made possible by the Ward Scholarship, which is from the Cleveland Foundation, and this is intended for students planning to study architecture in college. So the first one goes to a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay, one of the top students and a collaborative leader, one who thinks far outside the box. She's planning to study architecture at Kent State University. This will be an annual $1,500 award from Kent State, as well as a $2,000 annual award from the Cleveland Foundation for a total of $14,000 over 4 years to Alajane Carlisle. The final award goes to a student who's a 2-year ACE participant at John Hay, has been described as a very creative person, collaborative team member. And outside of ACE sessions, he actually visited the Cleveland Urban Design Collaborative from Kent State downtown. He's planning to study architecture at Kent State University, and he will receive a $1,500 annual award from Kent State, as well as a $2,500 annual award from the Cleveland Foundation, for a total of $16,000 over 4 years. Taiwan Swanson. Congratulations again to all the winners. I know your mentor teams and your families are very proud of you. And again, 18 awards totaling $99,000. Congratulations again to the winners. A couple notes to the parents of those scholarship winners. Those students are going to be enrolled in College Now Greater Cleveland's alumni mentor program, and they will have a mentor providing guidance and assistance to them also during college. And to the students who are moving on, remember, you have a room full of mentors here and mentors that are part of ACE across the country that provide you with connections to co-ops, internships, and potential employment opportunities. So please keep in touch after you graduate. And to the students at James Rhodes, New Tech East, New Tech West, Max Hayes, Collinwood, and John Hay, big thank you for your energy and enthusiasm in the program, and your videos and music and great excitement for ACE. Sophomores and juniors, we look forward to giving you these scholarships in the coming years. And again, students who are returning, keep your eyes out for next fall, the ACE Family Day. It's when you can learn about these scholarships, talk to our college partners early, learn about these scholarships well ahead of time. So we encourage you to look out for that coming this fall. So as we complete this event as well, if all the scholarship winners can please come forward for a photo. And I'm going to turn it back to Rob to close the event. Thank you.
And keep it going from Courtney Beam. Okay, before you get going, folks, I want to let you know that don't forget about the co-op opportunities. ACE has been a fortunate partner with you, which is Youth Opportunities Unlimited. You is a leader with youth development for hands-on experience. You get to test drive careers, you get to network, you get to prepare students for the future. Listen, all the seniors tonight have an opportunity to get involved with youth by filling out your application, so please consider applying. This is a paid opportunity, so you get to go to work and you get to get paid to see if you like a career or not. So check it out. Don't ignore this. Applicants must be serious about entering the architect, engineering, and construction industry. Daily activities include shadowing and learning. This co-op will allow a participant to work under the experienced professional. No prior experience is required, so seriously check that out. And don't forget about the ACE golf outing on August 17th at Red Tail. There's some information on your tables about that. And last but not least, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at ACE_Cleve and like us on Facebook at ACE Mentor Cleve. Once again, congratulations to all of our seniors and all of our scholarship winners and all of our presenters. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Please be careful driving home. Thank you very much.